Today I'm going to be showing you how to do Tycho style chill wave. This one means a lot to me. I remember Googling how to do this a lot back when I first discovered this stuff back in the day, and there was like no information out there. So today I'm going to give you the cheat sheet how to do everything. You can grab this full template at the top of the description that you just heard in the intro. It's available on my website. Make sure to grab that so you can follow along. Thanks for the support, guys, and let's get going. Alright, so it's 140 BPM, like dubstep tempo almost, even though it's a bit more like trip hop kind of drums, right? We start here with the lead. So what's happening here is it kind of has like a bass line and then top notes. The bass line is really simple. It's just A, F sharp. We're in the key of A major. If you look at this, it's really kind of creating this melody just using pretty basic voices inside of the scale. It's really just root, third, fifth, seventh, or sixth, and then the same voices up here, right? So you actually only are going to pick like 3 or 4 voices. I think that's what makes that a walk lead so catchy, is that it is really only just a few voices creating like a big melody. Now, as far as the sound goes on this one, it looks really simple. There's a bit more going on than you see right here. All I have here is just operator sine wave. It just has this really short attack, so it kind of goes like zoop into the note, but it's not like it still has a bit of punch to it, right? So we got that going. There's a bit of release as well, right? So you kind of get some chords, and then I'm high passing it. And then what gives it the sort of like chill wave thing is the send, actually. So when you hear that track, A Walk, and you hear that lead, yeah, it's definitely a lot of reverb on the synth, right? Like it's not what you see here, but I think what I noticed referencing it is like the reverb is almost like its own instrument. Like it's almost you have its own track that's just the reverb. So what I've done here is I've actually taken the reverb and put it on the send, and then I'm sending that lead in pretty heavily. I'm also sending a few other things, and then we're creating it with that. And this allows you to create that more textured kind of chill wave reverb as well, which used to really confuse me back in the day. It's actually not that hard nowadays. So basically what you gotta do is on the send, we got this reverb, 100% wet, hybrid reverb on this Studio B Far LR. Pretty much any one of these is gonna sound cool, but the hybrid reverb is really important, like that sort of like convolution sound where it's a little bit more like real reverb. So we got that, and then we're distorting it. And you hear that gives it that kind of chill wave, lo-fi sort of sound. So we just got that on 4%. You don't hear it much, but then we're compressing the life out of this thing. And you see, you get this distortion a little bit. And then you can just set the dry wet for how much you want. I think honestly on this one, when you hear the whole track, 4% was just fine. But certain cases you might want more, right? But it's a really good way to get that kind of chill wave sound that used to really, like I said, back in the day, I used to like not be able to figure out what was going on there. But I think it's really just a bit of distorted reverb on a send, so that you're not going to end up distorting this. Right? Like the sine wave stays very pure, and then the reverb can have all the distortion. And then yeah, we just high pass that at the end. So from there, I've got this little pad, which is very much a background element. Right, you can hear it just kind of plays some extra ambient stuff underneath the lead. This one is like really quiet. As far as the chords here, it's just going A major, D major, E minor, or like a weird inverted A major, You know, it's pretty simple. I have this analog patch where it says 2 square waves, one's an octave down, a little bit of noise, going into a low pass filter with a bit of key tracking. They've got 2 different amp envelopes which look like that. So basically just really similar, right? This LFO is on, but it's not really doing anything. I've got a bit of vibrato and unison, some reverb, plus this is going into that send as well. High pass, and then that's really it for the pad, right? We just want kind of something very smooth that fits in the background. I think the inspiration for this was like, you know, Brian Eno, Music for Airports type of stuff, which is like very much embedded into this sound. So, then we got our bass. So yeah, again, we're in D major, or A major, so we're going A, D, E, right? So 1, 4, 5, and then down to the 6th, down here, and then 4, 5. So really, like, it's more about thinking about it kind of what does this do for the mix, right? Like this kind of a bass line, or this kind of a track, you don't really want like a really heavy, intense bass line. You just want something really smooth and warm, which holds down the notes and is like very stable. Right, if it was jumping around too much, I don't think it would really be as chill, and it wouldn't really fit the track as well. And especially if you listen to this like against the rest of the drums, you can really hear that groove and why you need this. Because also keep in mind, these drums are really busy as well. For the sound on this one, it's made with analog. It's just 2 saw waves detuned a little bit. It's basically like an old school kind of respace, right? Just 2 detuned saws. Low pass, but it's analog, so it's nice and warm. Plus I got the resonance up, so that kind of makes it a bit warmer, as you can hear. I have a little bit of vibrato as well to kind of give this a more analog feel, make it sound maybe like it's a Juno or one of those kind of synths that Tycho uses. Then we got these 2 vocals. Okay, so I did these myself. What's happening here is it's just these 2. I'll show you the dry vocals. Right, so basically just like some harmonies that are very free too. I think you can play around with this and really get some cool stuff, like literally just by singing different stuff together like that kind of fits in the same key. The processing is really simple too. It's just reverb and then high pass, and then I pan each one a little bit to the left and right to kind of give it some like call and response and give it some depth in the mix. I sent these into that reverb as well, so here's without that. Just the reverb that's on the tracks, and then this is with the lo-fi Chillwave reverb. It's subtle, but it's a cool, like having this is also a cool way to just kind of glue everything together. Like all these melodic elements going into this same send kind of helps them feel like they're in the same world, which is really important with this stuff too, because like the texture is everything, right? So then we have this hi-hat loop. So this is some programmed hi-hats, right? I've got like this guy. And then that, if you use 2 different sounds and put like one a bit quieter, it sounds a bit more live and a little bit less like perfect rigid, you know? And then I have these open hi-hats just jumping in. And same deal, using 2 different ones there kind of makes it a bit more alive, and it's all this little ear candy that really adds up in the overall track. And you can hear like it's all pushed to the back. It's meant to really fit in with the breakbeats. Like when you play it on its own, is one thing, but then you play it with these breakbeats. See, it all kind of fits together into one thing. And then we got our breakbeats. So I've got 4 of these here, and yeah, I think these are very important for that Chillwave kind of like Boards of Canada influenced trip hop sort of thing, right? What's happening is you have your like program drums that are cool, right? Like these hi-hats and the kick and the snare and stuff. But it's a bit rigid, and then you add in these drum breaks. And there's texture. The other thing that's kind of unique here, I noticed too, is there's a little bit less emphasis on like side chaining the breakbeats and getting them out of the way of the kick and the snare. You know, you can almost let these just kind of have, like I ended up letting them have a bunch of low ends still. I didn't even cut it, you know, but it works because it kind of works together with that kick. And create something really full. Same thing in the snares. Like when you hear the kick and snare on their own, they're not even the beefiest samples. Because they're chosen to kind of like work together with these breakbeats. And that's really different. Like when you're doing more of that ravey kind of like house and techno stuff that I talk about on this channel a lot, it's more so like side chaining the breakbeats and getting them out of the way of the kick and stuff. This is more like kind of, it's all adding up to create one thing, I noticed. And there's a lot more room to play around with that. As long as it's not, you know, having phase issues that sound weird or like too much clashing low end, and it makes sure it doesn't clash with the bass or anything, you're good. So I've got like this guy, which is super quiet. I've got this one, which gives like a lot of body to the sound. And then this guy. And then that's all together. Plus we have this little Foley percussion as well. You can hear it. If I play it with the kick and snare, you'll really be able to hear it where it goes. Right, so that's just giving us a little bit more kind of like live textured percussion, helping with the rigidity as well. That's just going through a little bit of echo, which is really fast, and it's on ping pong, plus a high pass. And then we got our kick and snare, and those are really just about the programming. I don't have any processing on them, you know. I think this stuff is important to know where to do a lot of processing and where to not do a lot of processing. Like myself, you know, listening to this music back in the day in like 2012, 2013, I think I would often think, okay, well, it's Chillwave, it's meant to be really textured, so let's just take everything and put it through a bunch of saturation and compression and stuff. And it's like, you really want to pick and choose, right? Like there's really, a lot of this is very clean and simple, and then just kind of going through this one crazy send, and then like, you know, keeping the kick and snare really dry and clean. You don't want to make your drums, if you're going to have a crazy lead, which is going to be going through all this stuff, why would you also want your drums to be going through a bunch of stuff? It's like, I think knowing when to pick and choose what to process a lot, and then what to just let kind of be natural. And yeah, so that's gonna be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Thank you so much for the support, everybody, and make sure to grab this template at the top of the description so I can keep going, keep bringing you guys new videos like this every single day. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments if you want to see more down-tempo stuff. Thanks for the support, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.